everyone, it's Angie with Knot by Knot. Today I'm working on one of my rose blanket patterns, and this design is a great example of how you can incorporate different stitches into the same blanket. Here you can see 3 different stitches being used. The leaves are made with a purl stitch, the stem uses a twist or herringbone stitch, and the rest of the blanket is worked in a regular knit stitch. This is the pattern chart the blanket is worked from. You can see how the leaves, rose, and stem are all laid out in the design. If you'd like to make this blanket yourself, the downloadable Knot by Knot pattern will be linked in the description below. This one is a personalized one with Anaya's name on it, but the linked pattern does not have a name. And today I am using the burn method, so I will also be demonstrating how to change colors using the burn method. So we start here, we're just doing a regular knit stitch and a few color changes as we go. With this stitch, you're simply pulling the working yarn through the loop, creating those classic V-shaped stitches across the blanket. This stitch builds the base of the blanket and keeps everything nice and even. And now we're going to change colors to the stem color, the darker green. And for the stem, I'm using a twist stitch, which is also sometimes called a herringbone stitch. You'll notice the green stitch already exists here from the previous row. So when I come up on that stitch in that color, before I pull the new loop through, I simply twist the existing loop, then I pull the new loop through like normal. And you twist the loop in the direction that you're going. You have to have your foundation stitch before you can do your twist stitch. So that last stitch I did into the pink was just a regular stitch, regular knit stitch. And next time around, I can do a twist stitch on that one. So you've got to have your foundation stitch there first, and then the next time around, you can twist it for your herringbone stitch. Now for both the purl stitch and the herringbone stitch, you need a stitch already in place. So the first time that that color appears in your pattern, it's worked as a regular knit stitch, which is what you're going to see me do here. Then when you come back to it on the next row, that's when you can work the purl or the twist stitch. And now I've come up to a stitch where I've already got the base stitch from the row below. So to make a purl stitch, instead of pulling the yarn through from the back like we do on a regular knit stitch, I bring the working yarn across the front of the stitch. Then I pull the new loop from the front to the back. That flips the texture of the stitch, which creates a nice raised bump instead of the flat V shape that the knit stitch makes. And then we switch colors again according to the pattern. and continue on with a regular knit stitch. And so now we're going to switch colors again to the leaf color. And again, because our first stitch is not, we don't have the base stitch yet, so the first stitch here is just going to be a regular knit stitch. And then because we already have our base of green for this next ones, we're going to do a purl stitch in each of these across according to the pattern. And again, the purl stitch is I'm pulling it from front to back. And then when I switch colors, because I'm not using the green again, we do not do a purl stitch with the pink. It's going to be just a regular stitch now. And here, according to the pattern, I need another green, and because I have my base stitch green, I can purl this stitch. And then a regular knit stitch. And then a color change again. And according to the pattern, it is time to change colors again. And this time we're back to the stem, where we will do the twist or herringbone stitch. Now this first one needs to be a regular base, and then we will twist the next ones. And again, on the herringbone or twist stitch, you always twist in the direction that you're going. Okay, and now we just have a few regular knit stitches to finish out this row. Now, because this is chenille yarn, the ends can actually be fused together instead of tying the two ends together, so that's why I use the burn method. I just melt the two ends together, press them together, and it fuses the fibers so they hold as one piece. Once they cool for a second, the yarn is secure and I can keep knitting like normal. But I do always test my burn spots with a little pole just to make sure that they're nice and secure before moving on. Okay, so one thing to remember with the herringbone or twist stitch is that once the base stitch is there, you always twist it on that next row. So when I come up to that stitch that already belongs to the stem section, I twist that existing stitch before pulling the new loop through. Anytime the base stitch for the stem is already there, I twist it before pulling the new loop through. And that's true no matter what color I'm working with. The twist is what creates the herringbone stitch. The color can change, but the twist stays the same wherever the stem runs. And now here on the pattern, we're back to the leaf color. So I'm going to change the colors from pink to the leaf color green. And again, we are going to purl. If we've got our base stitch already there, we're going to purl our leaf color, which is pulling that yarn to the front and then pushing the loop through to the back. Now we've just got a couple of regular stitches again in our pink. And now we're back to the leaf colors. We're going to change to that green color and do some more purl stitches. Now we're changing our color again to go back to that purl stitch. which again is pushing from the front to the back. And you want to just make sure that you keep your stitches nice and close together so that there are no gaps. So that's a look at how these stitches come together in the design. The knit stitch forms the base, the purl stitch gives the leaves their texture, and that twist stitch creates the defined stem. Again, if you would like to make this pattern yourself, the link is in the description for purchase and download. Thanks for watching.